My beloved child, come close, and listen carefully, because something just happened, somewhere, to someone whose heart is already tied to yours. They felt something, a pull, a warmth, an ache they couldn't explain. And they don't know why. But you, my beloved child, you are about to understand exactly what that feeling means. So breathe with me, settle into this moment, and let's uncover this together. There are moments, my beloved child, when the human heart feels something so specific, so undeniable, yet completely unable to be explained by logic. Your soulmate has felt this, perhaps more than once, a sudden stillness in the middle of an ordinary day, a warmth spreading through their chest for no clear reason, a feeling of being deeply, unmistakably connected to someone, somewhere, even without a face to place it with. They may have shaken their head, dismissed it as tiredness, distraction, or simple imagination. But it wasn't nothing, my beloved child. It was you. The heart, my beloved child, often knows things long before the mind is ready to accept them. This is why so many people describe falling in love not as a decision, but as a recognition, a feeling that arrives first, fully formed, long before any logical explanation catches up to it. Your soulmate's sudden, unexplainable feeling of connection to you works the same way. Their soul recognized something, before their conscious mind had any framework to understand what that recognition even meant. This is not confusion, my beloved child, it is simply the natural order of how deep truths tend to arrive, feeling first, understanding later. The ordinary moment it happened. Picture this, my beloved child, your soulmate, going about a completely ordinary day. Standing in line somewhere, driving quietly, sitting at their desk. And then, without warning, a feeling washes over them, not sadness, not anxiety, but something softer, something that feels, oddly, like longing mixed with peace. They may have paused for a moment, genuinely puzzled. Where did that come from? This is often exactly how these moments unfold, my beloved child, not in dramatic, cinematic settings, but in the most mundane, unremarkable instances of daily life. Because connection does not wait for perfect timing, it simply arrives, whenever the thread between two souls happens to tighten. At the very moment your soulmate felt this unexplainable pull, my beloved child, something was likely happening within you as well. Perhaps you were thinking, quietly, about the kind of love you hope to one day experience. Perhaps you were feeling a wave of gratitude, or hope, or even simple stillness, that carried more emotional weight than the moment seemed to call for. Perhaps you were simply existing, fully present, in a rare moment of genuine peace. These states, my beloved child, whether you realized it or not, often ripple outward, and it is precisely in these moments of authentic emotion that your energy becomes most noticeable to the soul already tied to yours. You might wonder, my beloved child, why these feelings arrive so suddenly, without any clear trigger or explanation. The truth is, soul connection does not operate on a predictable schedule, it does not wait for convenient moments, quiet environments, or emotional readiness. It simply moves, when the energy between two souls reaches a certain intensity, often triggered by nothing more than a genuine, unguarded emotional moment on either side of the connection. This is why your soulmate may have felt this pull while doing something as simple as washing dishes, walking outside, or lying awake at night. Connection does not require preparation, it only requires authenticity. Beyond the emotional sensation itself, my beloved child, many people report physical symptoms accompanying these unexplainable moments of feeling connected to someone. A sudden warmth spreading through the chest, an unexpected flutter, similar to a skipped heartbeat. Even, in some cases, a subtle chill running down the spine, despite no change in physical temperature. These physical responses, my beloved child, are not coincidental. The body often registers energetic shifts before the conscious mind fully catches up, translating an invisible connection into something tangible, something felt physically, even without full understanding. If your soulmate has experienced anything like this recently, know that their body was simply confirming what their soul already recognized. Here's something worth considering, my beloved child. Your soulmate may have felt this powerful, unexplainable connection, and said absolutely nothing to anyone about it. Not because it wasn't significant, but because it felt too strange, too difficult to put into words, too vulnerable to share without feeling foolish. Many people quietly carry these moments alone, unsure how to explain feeling deeply connected to someone they haven't even met, or perhaps to someone they've met but haven't yet recognized as significant. This silence, my beloved child, doesn't diminish the reality of what they felt, it simply reflects how tender, how personal, these unexplainable moments of connection truly are. If you're wondering whether you might be the one whose energy reached your soulmate in this way, my beloved child, there are often subtle, corresponding signs on your end. You may recall a moment recently where you felt an unusually strong wave of hope, warmth, or emotional openness, seemingly without external cause. You may have thought of a specific type of person, a specific quality of connection you deeply desire, with more intensity than usual. You may have simply felt, for a brief moment, unusually at peace, unusually hopeful, unusually connected to the idea that love is indeed possible for you. These moments, my beloved child, may correspond directly to the very instances your soulmate felt this unexplainable pull toward you. I want to gently caution you, my beloved child, about a common mistake many people make. It is easy, in a world that values logic and explanation, to dismiss unexplainable feelings as irrelevant, random, or simply meaningless. But doing so, my beloved child, closes an important door, a door that, if left open, allows you to notice, track, and eventually understand the subtle language your soul is already fluent in. Rather than dismissing these feelings as nothing, consider treating them as valuable data. Small, quiet clues, gradually forming a larger picture of a connection already actively unfolding. As time passes, my beloved child, and as both you and your soulmate continue growing, healing, and becoming more emotionally available, these unexplainable moments of feeling one another tend to increase in both frequency and intensity. What once felt like a rare, fleeting sensation may begin happening more regularly. A stronger sense of anticipation, a more frequent feeling of being quietly accompanied, even during moments of solitude. This growing intensity, my beloved child, is not your imagination escalating. It is the natural progression of a connection strengthening as both souls draw closer to the moment of physical meeting. Let's pause together, my beloved child, for a quiet moment. Take a slow breath in, and let it out gently. Think back over the past several weeks. Has there been a moment, however brief, where you felt something unexplainable, a flutter, a warmth, an ache you couldn't place? Silently, in your heart, acknowledge that moment now. I recognize this feeling. I trust it. I remain open to the connection it represents. Sit with this acknowledgement for a moment longer. Whatever softened within you just now, trust it, my beloved child. Once you begin consciously recognizing these unexplainable moments, my beloved child, something subtle but important begins to shift. You start noticing patterns you previously overlooked, certain times of day, certain emotional states, certain circumstances that seem to consistently accompany these feelings of connection. This growing awareness, my beloved child, does not force the connection to happen faster. But it does allow you to walk through this waiting period with far greater clarity, confidence, and peace, rather than confusion or self-doubt. Occasionally, my beloved child, something even more remarkable occurs. Both souls feel this unexplainable pull at nearly the exact same moment, even before meeting. Later, once they've finally connected and compared their experiences, they often discover startling alignment, a shared feeling of warmth on the same evening, a simultaneous, unexplainable sense of hope on the very same day. This kind of mirrored timing, my beloved child, offers some of the most compelling, undeniable proof of soulmate connection, proof that transcends coincidence, and speaks instead to something far deeper already quietly at work. As we near the heart of this message, my beloved child, I want to address something important. You do not need a complete, logical explanation in order to trust what you feel. Some of the most profound truths in life resist full explanation, even while remaining undeniably real. Love, connection, and soul recognition often fall into exactly this category, felt long before understood, trusted long before proven. Give yourself permission, my beloved child, to trust these unexplainable moments, even without needing every detail to make complete logical sense. If your soulmate has felt this unexplainable pull toward you and remained confused about its meaning, my beloved child, understand that this confusion itself reveals something beautiful. It shows that what they felt was genuine, rather than manufactured or imagined for convenience. True, deep feelings often arrive with exactly this kind of bewildered uncertainty, precisely because they exceed our usual frameworks for understanding emotion. Their confusion is not a sign that the connection isn't real, my beloved child. It is, in many ways, proof that it is. Tonight, my beloved child, as you go about the rest of your day, I want you to carry a simple awareness with you. Somewhere, your soulmate may feel this pull again, perhaps while you're reading this very message, perhaps hours from now, perhaps tomorrow. When they do, some part of them will pause, puzzled, wondering where such a feeling came from. You will know, my beloved child, even if they don't yet, that it came from you. Interestingly, my beloved child, these unexplainable moments of feeling connected to a soulmate tend to strike most often during specific kinds of moments. Quiet, transitional times, driving alone, lying in bed just before sleep, walking somewhere without music or distraction, moments when the mind isn't fully occupied, and the soul has room to speak. This is why so many people report these feelings arriving out of nowhere during ordinary commutes, quiet showers, or the stillness right before falling asleep. It isn't that the connection only exists in these moments, my beloved child, but rather that these are the moments we're finally quiet enough to notice it. If you want to become more attuned to these signals yourself, consider creating more small pockets of stillness throughout your day. You may be surprised at what you begin to notice, once the noise finally settles. I want to address something practical, my beloved child, because it matters for understanding why these feelings sometimes seem inconsistent. When either person is under significant stress, overwhelmed, or emotionally shut down, the ability to notice, or even generate, these subtle energetic signals tends to weaken considerably. This doesn't mean the connection has disappeared, my beloved child. It simply means the channel has become muffled, much like static interfering with a radio signal. If you've noticed fewer of these unexplainable moments during a particularly stressful season of your life, don't interpret this as the connection fading. Interpret it, instead, as an invitation to find small ways to soften stress, and gently reopen that channel once again. There will come a moment, my beloved child, likely after you've finally met, when your soulmate looks back and consciously connects the dots. They may suddenly recall a specific evening, a specific unexplainable feeling, and realize, with quiet astonishment, that was the exact night I first felt you, before I even knew you existed. This moment of retrospective recognition, my beloved child, often becomes one of the most cherished parts of a soulmate's shared story. Proof, discovered together, of a connection that was quietly real long before either of you had words for it. As the actual moment of meeting draws closer, my beloved child, many people report a noticeable intensification of these unexplainable feelings. What once felt like a rare, subtle flicker may begin to feel more frequent, more vivid, even slightly overwhelming at times. This intensification, my beloved child, is not random escalation. It often mirrors the shrinking distance, whether physical, emotional, or circumstantial, between two souls rapidly approaching their moment of union. If you've noticed these feelings growing stronger and more frequent recently, take this as an encouraging sign, my beloved child, you may be closer to meeting than you realize. Once you begin to understand and trust these unexplainable moments, my beloved child, a quiet kind of responsibility settles in alongside that understanding. You may find yourself wanting to protect your own emotional openness more carefully, aware that your inner state genuinely ripples outward toward the person your soul is already connected to. This isn't a burden, my beloved child, but rather a gentle invitation to continue choosing hope over cynicism, openness over guardedness, authenticity over performance, knowing that these choices don't only shape your own life, but quietly touch the life of someone else as well. In the days following this message, my beloved child, I encourage you to remain gently attentive, without becoming anxious or overly analytical. Notice, simply notice, when unexplainable feelings arise, a flutter, a warmth, an inexplicable wave of hope or longing. You don't need to force meaning onto every single moment, simply allow yourself to remain curious, open, and receptive, trusting that patterns will reveal themselves naturally over time. This gentle attentiveness, my beloved child, is often far more powerful than active searching. Connection tends to reveal itself most clearly to those who remain quietly open, rather than those who chase it anxiously. There is something valuable, my beloved child, that this entire experience teaches you about your own inner world, beyond simply what it reveals about your soulmate. Learning to notice, trust, and honor these subtle, unexplainable feelings strengthens your relationship with your own intuition, a skill that will serve you well far beyond just matters of love. The more you practice recognizing genuine signal from mere noise, my beloved child, the more confident and grounded you become in trusting your own inner knowing, in every area of your life. This soulmate connection, even before it fully manifests, is already quietly teaching you something profound about how to listen to yourself. I want to remind you, my beloved child, of something comforting as we near the end of this message. You are not the only one experiencing these unexplainable feelings, these quiet moments of connection without clear explanation. Somewhere, your soulmate carries the very same confusion, the very same wonder, the very same quiet hope that what they're feeling actually means something real. You are not walking this particular part of the journey alone, even though it may often feel that way. You are, in fact, walking it together, each of you quietly, separately, feeling echoes of the very same connection. Before we close, my beloved child, I want to offer you a gentle blessing to carry forward. May every unexplainable feeling that arises within you be met with curiosity rather than dismissal. May you trust the quiet language of your own heart, even when it cannot be fully translated into words. And may you walk forward, my beloved child, carrying the comforting knowledge that somewhere, someone is already, quietly, without fully understanding why, learning to feel you. Human beings, my beloved child, have a natural instinct to name what they feel, to categorize, define, and make sense of every emotion that passes through them. But some feelings, my beloved child, resist easy naming. They arrive as a blend of longing and peace, of excitement and calm, of recognition and mystery, all tangled together in a way that no single word fully captures. This is often exactly how a soulmate's unexplainable pull toward you will feel. Not one simple emotion, but a complex, layered sensation that defies easy definition. Rather than forcing this feeling into a neat category, my beloved child, allow it to simply exist as it is. Some of the deepest truths in life are never meant to be fully named, only fully felt. There will likely be moments, my beloved child, both for you and for your soulmate, when the logical mind steps in, attempting to explain away these unexplainable feelings. It was probably just low blood sugar. Maybe I'm just tired. It's probably nothing, just my imagination running wild. This instinct to rationalize is natural, my beloved child, especially in a world that prizes logical explanation over intuitive knowing, but I want to gently encourage you not to let logic completely silence what you feel. There is room, my beloved child, for both logic and mystery to coexist. You don't have to abandon reason entirely to also honor the parts of your experience that reason alone cannot fully explain. Even in seasons where these unexplainable feelings seem to fade entirely, my beloved child, understand that the underlying connection itself has not broken. Just as a phone signal can weaken in certain locations without the network itself disappearing, these feelings of connection can quiet down during busy, distracted, or emotionally guarded seasons, without the soulmate bond itself ever truly disappearing. If you've gone through a stretch recently where you haven't felt these unexplainable pulls as strongly, don't interpret this as a sign the connection has ended, my beloved child. It simply means the signal has quieted, waiting patiently for calmer, more open moments to make itself known again. Knowing that these feelings may ebb and flow, my beloved child, here is a gentle practice to help you remain prepared for when they return. Each evening, before sleep, take just a few quiet moments to check in with yourself, not searching anxiously for signs, but simply softening, breathing, allowing space for whatever wants to surface. This small, consistent practice, my beloved child, keeps the channel between your conscious awareness and your deeper intuitive knowing gently open, ready to receive whatever quiet whispers of connection arrive, whenever they choose to arrive. Knowing that these feelings may ebb and flow, my beloved child, here is a gentle practice to help you remain prepared for when they return. Each evening, before sleep, take just a few quiet moments to check in with yourself. Not searching anxiously for signs, but simply softening, breathing, allowing space for whatever wants to surface. This small, consistent practice, my beloved child, keeps the channel between your conscious awareness and your deeper intuitive knowing gently open, ready to receive whatever quiet whispers of connection arrive, whenever they choose to arrive. Earlier in this journey, my beloved child, we touched briefly on the distinction between longing and knowing. But it deserves a deeper look here, in this context of unexplainable feelings. Longing often carries a restless quality, a grasping, an urgency, a discomfort that pushes you to search, to force, to chase after answers before they're ready to arrive. Knowing, by contrast, carries a settled quality. Even amid uncertainty, there is an underlying calm, a quiet trust that doesn't need to rush toward resolution. If the unexplainable feelings you've experienced carry more of this settled, quiet quality, my beloved child, trust that you are likely tapping into genuine knowing, rather than simple wishful longing. There is a strange paradox, my beloved child, that many people discover on this journey. The moment you stop desperately trying to prove that these feelings are real, the moment you release the need for constant validation and simply allow the experience to exist without demanding explanation, something often shifts. The feelings themselves tend to arrive more naturally, more frequently, with less interference from an anxious, searching mind. This is because desperation and genuine openness rarely coexist well, my beloved child. Releasing your grip on needing proof often creates exactly the kind of spacious, trusting energy that allows real connection to be felt more clearly. As we truly near the end of this message, my beloved child, I want to speak once more about patience, not as a passive waiting, but as an active, trusting stance toward life. Patience does not mean pretending you don't feel the ache of wanting this connection to fully manifest. It simply means choosing, again and again, to trust the timing of something you cannot fully control. Every unexplainable feeling you've experienced, my beloved child, every quiet flutter, every inexplicable warmth, is a reminder that patience is not wasted effort, it is quiet, active participation in a story still being written. As we come to the end of this message, my beloved child, I want you to carry this truth with you. Your soulmate has already felt you, without knowing why. Without a name to attach to the feeling, without any concrete explanation for the warmth, the ache, the unexplainable pull that moved through them. This is not confusion without meaning, my beloved child, it is recognition arriving before understanding, exactly as it so often does when two souls are truly, deeply connected. Trust this, my beloved child, trust the moments you cannot explain. Trust that somewhere, your energy is already reaching someone whose heart is quietly, faithfully, learning to recognize you. If this message touched your heart, like this video, comment if you've ever felt something unexplainable and later realized what it meant, and subscribe to Hidden Blessings message for daily spiritual guidance, soulmate signs, and divine messages sent straight to your soul. Until next time. Stay open, stay aware, and trust every unexplainable feeling as the quiet language of a connection already in motion.